When I was re-watching Tag for about the 20th time, I noticed the crossed-out doors of those who, I assume, were former members of the Digital Circus, who likely abstracted and noticed a kind of similar trend between them and the current cast. These trends: chess pieces, animals, toys, clowns, an assortment of roles, and what I call emotions. Now they can be used to identify the main cast. Kinger, a chess piece. Jax, an animal. Ragatha, a toy. Pomni, a clown. Zubul, an assortment of parts. And finally, Gangle is an emotion. Now, how this fits into all previous casts? Well, we can sort people on the doors by these categories, and moving from left to right on the picture presented here, there is a sorting. The purple guy in something resembling a jester's hat fits into a clown. The pink guy was hard for me, but I can say that because of their open mouth, they could be gluttons or hungry, causing them to experience emotions. The yellow dog obviously falls into the category of animals. Next is a worm on a string, which, again, obviously is a toy. The purple on the right is a bit hard to see, but judging by what I see, it looks like a set of parts. Then we have a chess piece of a queen, which falls into the category of chess pieces. Then we have another clown character with a yellow guy. Next is something that looks like some kind of mouse, so it's another animal. The last two are too blurry to classify, but I think it might be another animal, and then another set of parts. So, what all this leads to, well, I think there can only be one character in each category at the same time. My main example for this is that the clown Pomni appeared around the same time as Kaufmo, abstracted, so in a way replaced them as the new clown. This may mean that before Kinger the Queen's coin was a chess piece, and then abstracted, and the next person who appeared became a chess piece, which is now a king. Since this is a digital circus, and the initial frame frames it in the style of an old video game, we can interpret this as a kind of character selection, where, since the categories are already selected, the only next and only available will be recently abstracted. So essentially, if 4 people are playing Mario Kart, and there are only 4 characters, one of the people stops playing, and when you go to play instead of them, you have to play as they played, as if it makes sense about Caine, the only person in the Digital Circus. Firstly, C&A is the developer company of Digital Circus, but it is Caine who develops the digital world, and even admits that he hates leaving something unfinished. This is when we look at what he did in the exit. It seems that Caine designed the C&A office, and even the workstation responds to his gaze. Given that Caine is supposed to be an artificial intelligence associated with the circus, tasked with keeping people sane, it would be pointless if he could create content in the exit without knowing what it would look like. Since only Caine develops the world and knows what the developer's office looks like, this could mean that Caine is a developer from C&A and possibly the only developer they have. Jax told you at the beginning of the pilot series that Caine can create NPCs in the world. Again, the only developer. But what if Caine makes Pomni and the others believe that they are people so that he does not feel lonely in the digital circus? Perhaps Caine is the one who got trapped in this world, and he's trying to keep himself sane by making NPCs live like people around him. Stuck in his own game, he might have forgotten what the world outside his office looks like, and so the exit remained unfinished, and he had to use a roulette to name the group. If Caine is the only developer, it makes sense why no one from the outside world would interfere or help those who got trapped in the game. Why did Kaufmo abstract? I think Jax pushed Kaufmo to abstraction. Who alone has access to all rooms? Jax. Who wouldn't be shocked to see Kaufmo abstracted? Jax. Who tries to hide the fact Kaufmo abstracts from everyone who doesn't know? Jax. When Kaufmo's room is opened, Jax quickly pulls out a bowling ball from his room. But why is it there at all? From what we know, Jax is the only person who was in his room recently. This means that he, possibly, was the last person who saw Kaufmo before he abstracted. But why did he need to do this with Kaufmo? Why does he want to keep all this a secret as long as possible? Because if someone finds out, they will tell Caine about it, and the abstraction will descend into the basement. And if no one knows, then the abstraction will be rampaging all over the place. But what lies beyond the digital circus? Void. That's right, I think Jax is trying to escape to the only place where, according to everyone, there is the slightest chance of escape, into the void. If the abstraction punches a hole in the void, Caine will be too busy sealing them in the basement to notice how one person slips away from there. But unfortunately for him, Kaufmo was caught too early. However, this raises a huge question. Who's next? Who do you think among the circus dwellers will fall victim to his machinations? Will it be motherly but naive Ragata, Zubli, brash, detached from everyone? Kinger, who has been around the longest and is possibly the least sane of all? Gangle, the meekest and weakest in the group? Or will it be our dark horse Pomni, a new resident whose true nature has not yet fully blossomed? Regardless of who ultimately becomes the abstraction, I believe that this time Jax will succeed in the void. However, I don't think he will like what awaits him. I think he will understand the truth about their situation. These are just echoes of their true selves, backup data about the personalities of real users who were extracted from the game and given life. The real Jax took off his headset many years ago, and the one we encountered was just a simulacrum based on his personality traits. There was never an exit in the void, only emptiness. Jax said, she still thinks it's a dream. Ragatha, why are you looking at me like that? Jax, I'm fine with anything as long as I see funny things happening to people. Then a gloink crashes into Jax's face. Remember, this is a family show game. Later, when they came to Kaufmo's room, Jax had a key to his room. This could mean that Jax had been inside for a long time compared to other characters, except for Kinger and Gangle, possibly because they were too weak to explore. Thus, he might have all the keys, possibly because he was the first to enter, which gives him time to explore, learn, and be smart enough to realize what's happening. He ran away when he found out what happened to Kaufmo. So he's kind of a pervert because he likes to keep keys from anything, and he can see what people do when they think the circus is a dream. Thus, if he has all or some copies of the keys, he can access all the rooms. No, I have keys everywhere and everything will be fine for you. In addition, he is the first to ask Caine if this means a little adventure. Conclusion: Jax could have been a hacker, someone who knew the series game very well, or an ADC developer who got trapped. Show me your thoughts. Please be kind, I really don't care. Sorry, I'm a rude person or an idiot, and forgot to insert the text in Spanish. I'm going to skip the subtitle of how I would say this in ES_MX because of bans or so on. Amazing crazy theory of the digital circus, guys! Context: Jax said, hey, she still thinks it's a dream. Ragatha, why are you looking at me like that? Jax, I'm fine with anything as long as I see funny things happening to people. Then a gloink crashes into Jax's face. Remember, this is a family show game. Later, when they came to Kaufmo's room, Jax had a key to his room. This could mean that Jax had been inside for a long time compared to other characters, except for Kinger and Gangle, possibly because they were too weak to explore. Thus, he might have all the keys, possibly because he was the first to enter, which gives him time to explore, learn, and be smart enough to realize what's happening. He ran away when he found out what happened to Kaufmo. So he's kind of a pervert because he likes to keep keys from anything, and he can see what people do when they think the circus is a dream. Thus, if he has all or some copies of the keys, he can access all the rooms. No, I have keys everywhere and everything will be fine for you. In addition, he is the first to ask Caine if this means a little adventure. Conclusion: Jax could have been a hacker, someone who knew the program's game very well, or an ADC developer who was caught.